So then shifting gears to the pit crew stuff, obviously Bob Pockers tweeted about me coming off of the 12 and being on the 38, and then, man, I fell into, like, Corey LaJoy Twitter hell of, like,
oh, buddy,
you suck. Like, and then, like, the
it's almost
AI-generated articles. Bob, shout out to Bob. So it happened Monday. Before the podcast on Monday, I talked to my pit coach, and he was like, man, I just feel like we have to make a change somewhere, and the most cup-ready guy I have is a front changer. Okay. I was like, look, I have been taken off of this car in the last 11 years 4 different times and put back on. So it's just part of the business. The problem is now we have a podcast, so it's news because,
because people know of you.
No, yes. And look, we've had a very successful run with Blaney. I've only been on the car for 2 and not even full 3 years. Right? I was with Cindric. We won the Daytona 500. And I get switched over to Blaney's car about the same time in 2022. And we won the All-Star race. We went on that run. Should have won the championship that year.
Run second.
Win the championship in 2023. Should have won the championship in 2024. So I was looking at it like when I talked to Ryan Briganti, I was like, man, I've had my blinders on. Yeah, the 38. I've had my blinders on to the 12 car. Like, is it Todd or Zane that drives the car? Like that. Like, I don't even pay attention to anything else. That's what I asked, and I was like, I know, okay, it's Zane, but like I don't even pay attention to much else other than the 12 and what's going on my team, and especially when there's changes like there is at other teams. I don't know who's where, what's where. I don't look at the rosters. You just see somebody wearing a different uniform. But like I was like, man, I haven't looked up from the fire. I've been in 3 of the last 5 Final Fours, even dating back to 5 Nut. And the Final 8 the last 6 years in a row. Like, you're in the fire. So I've never even looked up. So I was like, oh, took the blinders off. Like, I went over to front row this morning, and right away when they said you're going to switch, there was no – this is a big part of the sport. It happens all the time. We saw it happen with the 5 and the 7. It happens a lot. But like I said, since we have a podcast and we are in the media,
well, you walk out. Story. Yeah, you walk out to the end of the plank.
Absolutely.
Every week.
And with how successful our team is, it's a big story as well. But there's the only thing in me that I go, okay, I'm a competitor. How do I win with the guys I'm with? Whether I'm racing cup cars on a pit crew or I'm racing my indoor midget or racing Bowman Gray this weekend. So the first thing I did is I called I call them kids. There's a lot of young guys on the 38. And if we look at where the 38's been on the charts, they're at the lower end of the charts. So, okay, my mind just immediately doesn't go to, what the hell? That's not fair. Blah blah. It's like, okay, shift gears. How do I win with? How do we win? What's the steps with this team? How do I prepare them to be a top 20 team, to be a top 10 team, and how do I take the experiences I have from racing for championships for the last 10 years? Won 5 Xfinity championships, been part of 2 Cup championships as a mechanic and as a tire changer, and I understand what it takes to win this level. How do I pass that on to these guys that are going to want to get there?
Yeah.
That's where my mind goes. My mind doesn't go anywhere of being destructive or being mad, being frustrated,
a little bit,
feeling wrong. I mean, yeah, but the only thing, like, when I got that call, the heat's been really hot on the 12 car. And I felt like I felt at times like I was getting looked at almost like Lightning McQueen at the end of his career, where there's a bunch of Jackson with storms coming. And I'm like, I know I could still do this, but I do feel like there's a lot of heat on me here, and I can kind of see things shaping up, and I've been doing it a long time, and I understand how it all goes. So I was like, okay, I know after Bristol,
how it goes is there becomes a thought, which becomes, and I'm not speaking for you, I'm just saying how it goes, and a lot of things sometimes aren't as they appear. There becomes skewed understanding or translations of some data, which then solidifies a position to make a change that they ultimately need to do just to justify and say they made a change.
And I'd say that we probably, I don't think our team needed to change. I think that there was a couple things we needed to clean up, and we were the best ranking Penske car at Bristol. We had a top 10 day at Bristol, which is only a 4-stop sample size, so sometimes it's even harder to be in the top 10 with a sample size like that. But I know what I'm capable of and what I can do and what I can bring to a team. And the only thing, where I was getting at was Bristol leaving there after what happened in Darlington. Then Bristol, we were the only car on the lead lap. You come down under green. Like, in Bristol, just inherently, your nerves are shot. So, like, Monday morning, you're just, your nerves are fried, your adrenals are fried, you're full of cortisol, like, all that stuff. And I was just, like, tired. And not physically, but just, like, emotionally, mentally drained. And when my coach kind of presented this to me, I was like, it felt like a weight off my back a little bit. If that sounds bad, but I've never, like, because I never realized I carried the weight, because you just stay in it and you just stay, how do I get better? How do I get better? And I was like, whoa, like, I can see stuff a little clearer now. I'm out of the fire for a little bit. But also, like, I get to work with the mentor, the 38, take a step back, see everything for what it is instead of being in the fire of racing for a championship, and see if, okay, do I want to be a mentor? Do I want to be a pit coach one day? Do I want to get back to the top of the mountain and race for a championship like I know I can? Like, what is important to me, right? I haven't looked at anything through a clear lens other than the lens of winning a championship for the last 10 years. So,
well, when
with everything comes a gift, and the only thing that is tarnished that I've found would be my ego. And if I can't suppress my ego, then what kind of a man am I? Well, right? And I don't do this for the ego. I do this because I like doing the job.
It's
no,
hard to.
Not for me. It's not, because
a little bit.
No, it's not, because I've been through it.
That's true.
Right? And like, what's it matter? I have an office with shelves in it. It's out of room for trophies. What do they matter? Like, when I look at all the trophies, I got a case with 17 rings in it. Right? I've had a blessed career. But it's not, the trophies are fine, but it's the people and the memories that you make and the impact that you make on people, and how, like, what do you think about when you think about a person? Right when somebody says somebody's name that you haven't heard in a long time, you think about how they made you feel.
That's right.
And I want to be somebody that when I come back to pit road, the young guys, and I've passed on the good of what the sport is and how you're supposed to act and how you're supposed to be a champion. And, like, Mike Trower won more races than anybody. He's not in the Hall of Fame. So what is all these races I've won and championships I'm going to do? It's just going to be a bunch of trophies and rings my kids are going to have to throw out one day, right? But if I can bring a good attitude to a team, show kids what it means to win, inevitably, if I'm meant to be on a championship car, I will graciously be on a championship car and go win another championship. If I'm meant to be a mentor and somebody that, is on a car that help kids and help younger guys get to where they're at, then that's great too. I'm going to be, no matter where they put me.
You can be both.
No matter where they put me, I'm going to be bringing exactly what I bring, my preparation, everything that I bring to the table every week. And I was at the 38 shop this morning. I went there and talked to all the guys, met with Ryan Blaney, the crew chief, looked at their pit box, put my stuff in the hauler, and they're excited. Like, they're like, let's go. And here's what I think, here's my approach, here's what I think we can do. And this is a perfect week to do it. You have Texas and Talladega, 2 races that aren't, super pit stop heavy. It's going to be more on the fueler, and you get your bearings straight. And then you go to Kansas and the All-Star race and the Coke 600 where you're going to have to be on the gas. So, like, it gives you 2 weeks to get your bearings straight and be team. There's a lot that goes into being a picker guy. It's not just over the wall. It's from the van rides to practice to setting the pit box up to being a good teammate. So, like, we get that acclimated the next 2 weeks, and by the time we go to Kansas, I hope that we can be a top 20 team.